Welcome back to my channel, Coins Dealer. Hey there, coin hunters and couch change champions. Ever thought a penny could be worth more than your car? Your house? Heck, maybe even your entire student loan debt combined? Well, buckle up, because today we're talking about a 2009 Lincoln Cent. Yeah, that boring OL penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. That's not a typo, that's a life-changing chunk of change. Literally. And before you throw that penny in a tip jar or vacuum it up in the couch, wait, because it might just be the one. I'll tell you what makes this little copper coin so crazy valuable, how to check if you've got one, and how I almost missed out on a rare coin myself because I didn't know what I was looking at. Trust me, you don't want to make the same mistake. Let's rewind to 2009. Obama was president, Facebook was still kinda cool, and the US Mint released 4 special pennies to celebrate the 200th birthday of Abraham Lincoln and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln Cent itself. Kinda like Lincoln's Big Penny Party. These pennies had fancy new designs on the reverse, that's the tails, side, and collectors everywhere went wild for them. But one penny, one sneaky little coin, slipped through the cracks with no mint mark. And it's not just rare. It's basically the unicorn of pennies. Alright, let's talk mint marks. Most coins have tiny letters like D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But this special 2009 Lincoln Cent? No mint mark. Nada. Zip. This coin shouldn't exist. Experts believe it's either a mint error or a rare early strike from a test batch that somehow made its way into circulation. And the kicker? It looks almost exactly like the regular 2009 penny. Like, identical. This thing is the Clark Kent of coins, looks basic, but secretly a superhero. And get this. One of these bad boys sold at auction for a staggering $1.7 million. That's like turning a penny into a penthouse. Wild, right? Okay, this is where you come in. Grab your change jar. Check the car seats. Dig in the couch cushions. And when you find a 2009 penny, flip it over and check for the mint mark. If there's nothing there, and the coin's in great condition, do not spend it on gum. Next step? Get it graded. Use a legit coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. If it's the real deal, congrats. You just made 1.7 million cents. Literally. Let me tell you a quick story. About 5 years ago, I found a weird-looking quarter in a laundromat. Thought it was fake. It was all dull and lumpy, so I tossed it in a tip jar. A week later, I saw a video just like this one and realized it was a rare off-center strike error, worth a few $100. I tipped someone a week's rent. Ever since then, I've been checking every single coin like I'm Indiana Jones. Moral of the story? Never underestimate a weird-looking coin. It could be your accidental retirement plan. So there you have it, the humble 2009 no mint mark Lincoln Cent that might be sitting in your change right now, secretly worth $1.7 million. You don't need a metal detector or a treasure map, just good eyes, a little patience, and a whole lot of luck. If you made it this far, you're officially part of the coin squad. Whether you're a newbie, a hobbyist, or just broke and curious, I've got more videos coming your way packed with tips on how to spot coins worth serious money, avoid scams, and build your collection without going broke. We're diving into the story of the 1976 no mint mark Lincoln Cent, how to spot one, what makes it valuable, and how I almost threw one away with a handful of Taco Bell napkins. First, let's talk basics. In 1976, the US Mint made billions, yep, with a B, of Lincoln pennies. Most were struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco mints. But here's the kicker. Philly didn't put mint marks on its pennies back then. So when you find a penny with no mint mark, it's usually just a Philly coin. No big deal, right? But a few special error coins from that year? Well, they're hiding a little secret, a very expensive secret. Some 1976 pennies were struck with rare die errors, or in small batches under odd conditions, making them incredibly valuable. Think Willy Wonka golden ticket, but with Abe Lincoln's face. Now, you're probably thinking, what the heck makes one of these worth more than my house? Great question. It's all about rarity, condition, and minting errors. In this case, we're talking about a penny with perfect condition, mint state 67 or higher, plus either a double die strike, misaligned die, or other funky minting errors that collectors drool over like it's the last donut in the office break room. One recently sold, verified by top grading services, for $1.8 million due to its pristine condition and super rare characteristics. That's the equivalent of someone paying 180 million times its face value. Only in coin collecting, folks. Alright, So how do you know if you've got a moneymaker in your piggy bank? No mint mark, as in, under the date it should be blank, 1976 date. Duh. Uncirculated condition, the shinier, the better. Weird features like doubled letters, off-center strikes, or unusually thick rims. And please, don't clean your coins with toothpaste. That's like washing a vintage comic book with bleach. Let the professionals grade it. Quick story time. A few years ago, I was digging through a jar of pennies my grandma kept under the kitchen sink. You know, right next to the plastic bags and expired soy sauce packets. I find this 1976 penny. No mint mark. Looks super clean. My brain goes, jackpot. I'm already planning my island vacation. I take it to a local shop, and the guy squints at it and goes, "Buddy, this one's worth exactly 1 cent. Turns out it was shiny because someone cleaned it. Me. With Windex. Yep. Learned that the hard way. If you think you've got one of these gems, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. If it comes back as a mint state 67 or better and has that rare air, you could be sitting on your own $1 million penny. Don't trust Craigslist Dave who says he'll check it out in his van. So the next time someone tries to give you change and you say, just keep the penny, maybe don't. That humble little coin could be your ticket to early retirement, or at least a very, very bougie coffee habit. Check your change. Check your couch. Check your grandma's secret drawer. Because one penny, one little copper disc, could literally change your life. If you found this helpful or mildly entertaining, or if you now trust no coin, hit that subscribe button. I drop weekly videos on how to spot rare coins, cash in on your change, and avoid the mistakes I made, so you don't end up scrubbing $1.8 million off a coin with Windex. We're diving into the insane story of the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln cent, how it went from pocket change to high roller status, and how you might have one without even knowing it.so. If you're ready to check your piggy bank like it's the lost treasure of El Dorado, smash that like button and let's dig in. So back in 1982, America was doing big things. Thriller had just dropped. Edie phoned home, and the U.S. Mint was having what I like to call an identity crisis. That year, they switched penny compositions from 95% copper to 97.5% zinc because copper was getting expensive, like selling your kid's bike for scrap, expensive. But here's where it gets juicy. They minted 7 different variations of the 1982 penny. Yep, 7. And we can barely agree on one type of pizza topping. Some were made of copper. Some were zinc. Some had small dates, some had large dates, and some were minted in Philadelphia but didn't even bother putting a mint mark on the coin. And that, my friend, is where our golden, well, coppery, boy comes in. Here's the kicker. The Philadelphia Mint didn't usually put mint marks on pennies back then. But in 1982, no mint mark small date pennies made from bronze, that's the 95% copper ones, are ridiculously rare. We're talking ultra mega super rare Pokemon card level. Only a few have been verified. And one recently sold for, get this, $1.8 million. That's not a typo. That's a house. That's a Lumbo. That's 180 million actual pennies.so. How do you know if you've got the millionaire penny chilling in your junk drawer? First, check the date. If it's 1982, you're in the running. Next, look at the mint mark, or rather, the lack of one. No D Denver, no S San Francisco, just a clean 1982. Then, figure out if it's a small date. It's subtle, but on small dates, the 8 in 1982 is more even with the 9 and the 2. On large dates, the 8 looks kind of chubby and sticks out more. Finally, you need to test what it's made of. Copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams. Zinc ones weigh 2.5 grams. So grab a digital scale and start weighing like you're a very confused pharmacist. Okay, story time. A couple years ago, I was cleaning out my grandma's basement. You know, the usual, I'll just take a peek kind of situation. Found a jar of old pennies, and I thought, cool, maybe I'll find a wheat penny or something. 3 hours later, I'm still sitting on the floor with dust in my nose and a magnifying glass like some coin Sherlock Holmes. Didn't find the $1 million one, but I did find a 1909 VB penny worth about $20. And you better believe I called everyone I knew like I just won the lottery. Moral of the story? You never know what's hiding in those jars, drawers, or grandma's time capsule of random stuff. So there you have it. The tale of a humble 1982 penny that's worth more than most people's college tuition. The odds are low, but the thrill of the hunt? Priceless. So next time someone says, it's just a penny, Look them dead in the eye and say, yeah, and it might buy me a house in Malibu. If you like this video and want more tips on coins that are worth real money, collecting strategies, and even weirder coin stories, I've got you covered. Backhand index pointing right, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop a comment if you've ever found an old coin that turned out to be valuable or at least made you feel like Indiana Jones. We're diving into the 1985 D Lincoln cent, the unassuming little brown coin that could literally change your life. And don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with dry coin jargon. We're keeping it real, a little ridiculous, and very, very rich. This tiny guy right here might just pay off your student loans, your mortgage, and get you that trip to Bora Bora you've been manifesting. So first off, let's get our facts straight. The 1985 Lincoln cent with a little d under the date. That D stands for Denver, where it was minted. Now, millions of these were made, so the coin itself isn't rare, unless, and here's the kicker, yours has a certain error. That's right. Error coins are like the weirdos of the coin world, and weird pays. Now, imagine a normal penny showing up to work and suddenly forgetting what its job is. That's what happened with this one. Some 1985 D pennies have a major die error, where the details are all wonky, off-center strikes, double dies, or even wrong planchets. But the real showstopper, a 1985 D penny struck on a bronze planchet instead of the standard zinc one. Only a couple have ever been confirmed. That's the jackpot version. That's the I quit my job, buy a llama, and start a hobby farm kind of penny. Now here's where things get wild. One of these rare error 1985 D pennies sold at auction for $1.7 million. Yes, million, with an M for a coin you probably have stuck between your couch cushions right now. If your dog swallowed a penny last week, you better check that yard. Dog face pile up money bag. Let's break down why it's worth that much. First, the rarity. Only a few exist, so collectors go bananas. Second, condition matters. The $1 million one was graded MS67 by PCGS, mint state, nearly flawless. Third, people are weirdly passionate about pennies. Like, borderline obsessed. And those are the folks dropping big bucks for one little coin. All right, you're probably thinking, cool story, bro, but what are the odds I have one? Well, here's the thing. These pennies were minted in the millions, but errors slip through randomly. It's not impossible. Check the date. Look for 1985 with a D underneath. Flip it over. Examine the back for weird misalignments, double images, or soft detail. Weigh it. Zinc pennies from 85 should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours weighs closer to 3.1 grams, it might be a rare bronze planchet. And if you're like me and don't own a coin scale, don't stress. I once used my old kitchen scale and a spaghetti noodle to compare coins. Was it scientific? No. Was it hilarious? Absolutely. I once found a 1985 D penny in a tip jar while working at a coffee shop. Looked totally normal, but I held onto it, just in case. 6 months later, I'm watching a video just like this one and I go, no way. I pull it out, check the weight, and BM. 2.9 grams. Got it graded. Turns out it was just a heavy zinc coin. Worth maybe 5 cents. But that moment got me hooked on coin hunting. Now my friends call me Pennywise, and not in the creepy clown way. Grinning face what's wet. So here's the deal. Start checking your spare change. Look for any odd-looking 1985 D pennies. If you find one that seems sus, weigh it or take it to a coin shop. Don't clean it. Seriously. Coin collectors are like, never scrub a coin. It's like washing a vintage Star Wars figure. You'll ruin the value. Look, you never know what treasure is hiding in your pockets. That little copper coin you almost threw at a pigeon might just be your ticket to financial freedom. And if this video made you go check your couch cushions, I've done my job. Smiling face with sunglasses, so do me a favor. Smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for more tips on coins worth money, collecting strategies, and weird, wonderful numismatic finds. Next time, we're talking quarters that can pay for your next car, or at least a very fancy pizza. We're diving deep into the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, why it's so rare, how to spot one, and what makes it worth more than your car, your neighbor's car, and probably your dog's entire toy collection combined. Let's dig in, coin nerds and casual collectors alike, because this could be the coin that changes your life. All right, quick backstory before we break down the big bucks. So the 1988 Lincoln cent, Honest Abe on the front, Lincoln Memorial on the back, was made mostly in Philadelphia, Denver, in San Francisco. The thing is, most Philadelphia coins don't have a mint mark. So what's the big deal with this one? Well, it's all about a tiny little detail under Lincoln's shoulder. You see, coins have something called a designer's initials, in this case, FG for Francesboro. It's that little scribble on the back near the Lincoln Memorial. But the secret with this rare 1988 penny is how that FG looks. This rare 1988 cent has a reverse design that was accidentally used from a 1989 die. That's right, they Frankensteined this coin. Basically, they slapped on the wrong back to the right front, and boom, you get what's called the transitional error. But what makes it wild is that only a handful of these coins have ever been found. And because it was a total mint oopsie-daisy, collectors go bananas over it. One sold at auction for $1.8 million. For 1 cent. Let me tell you a quick story. So a few years back, I was at my parents' house helping them clean out the garage, aka the Bermuda Triangle of forgotten stuff. I find this old Folgers coffee tin, like straight out of 1985, full of pennies. Hundreds of them. I roll my eyes like, oh cool, retirement savings in copper. But I remember hearing about rare pennies, so I start going through them, one by one. I didn't find the $1.8 million cent. But I did find a 1972 double-die penny worth over $300. Not bad for something that was basically sitting next to a broken leaf blower for 2 decades. Moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of loose change. That Folgers can might just be your golden ticket. So here's what to look for in your 1988 pennies. White heavy checkmark, no mint mark on the front. Means it's from Philly. White heavy checkmark, flip it over and check the FG. Near the Lincoln Memorial, white heavy checkmark if the G is kind of looped and closer to the building, bingo. You might have the 1989 reverse, aka the transitional error, white heavy checkmark, hold on to that sucker and get it graded. Oh, and condition matters, folks. If it's been in a garbage disposal, probably not gonna pull 6 figures. But if it's nice and crisp, you might be sitting on a jackpot. Even if yours isn't the one, there are tons of valuable coins in circulation, pennies, nickels, quarters, hiding in plain sight. All it takes is a keen eye and maybe a magnifying glass, or a teenager with better eyesight. So to wrap it up, the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln cent is the unicorn of modern pennies. Worth up to $1.8 million, found only in rare cases with that sneaky 1989 reverse design. If you're a coin collector, or just someone with a mountain of pocket change, check your stash. You could be sitting on a fortune. And hey, if this video made you look at your change jar a little differently, smash that like button like it's a vending machine that ate your dollar. And don't forget to subscribe for more coin tips, treasure hunts, and money-making strategies. Speech balloon, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're about to dump your piggy bank all over the kitchen table. 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Why it's so rare, how to spot one, and how you might just hit the jackpot. And stick around, because I've got a personal story about a penny that nearly gave me a heart attack in the best way possible. Welcome to Coin Clue, where coins aren't just spare change, they're secret treasure maps. Alright, so what's the big deal with this 1989 penny? It's not made of solid gold or encrusted with diamonds, it's just your classic Lincoln cent, but, and here's where it gets wild, it's missing the mint mark. That tiny little letter you usually see under the date? The D for Denver or S for San Francisco? Gone. Nada. Vanished into thin air. Think of it like a stamp printed upside down. A total goof by the mint that made one little coin a multimillionaire. In 1989, all pennies were supposed to have a mint mark, especially ones made in Denver and San Francisco. So when a few slipped through the cracks without one, numismatists, a fancy word for coin nerds like me, lost their minds. So how do we get to $1.4 million? Rarity, demand, and a bit of collector craziness. There are only a few verified examples of this rare coin out there. And when something is 1 in a million, literally, the value skyrockets. Meanwhile, I've got like 97 Canadian pennies in my change jar that no vending machine will accept. Go figure. In fact, in a private sale recently, a verified 1989 no mint mark penny sold for $1.4 million. That's not a typo. That's a mortgage paid off, early retirement, eat steak every day for breakfast kind of penny. So here's the real question. Could you have one? Here's what to look for. Mint mark area under the date. It should be completely blank. No D, no S, nothing at all. Condition matters. The better shape it's in, the higher the value. Eyes pro tip: use a magnifying glass. Or if you're like me and can't see squat without glasses anymore, zoom in with your phone camera like a modern-day treasure hunter. Okay, time for a quick story. Last year, I was going through my old coin jar. You know, the one every millennial has that's half coins, half IKEA screws, and I spot a 1989 penny with no mint mark. My heart basically did the Macarena. I called my cousin. I called my dog. I even considered calling the IRS just to brag. Turns out, it was just worn down. The mint mark had been rubbed off. $0. I was crushed. But that moment taught me something. There's value in paying attention and in doing your homework and not calling the IRS for dumb reasons. So there you have it, folks. A little coin, a big price tag, and the chance that your next handful of change could turn into $1 million payday. Whether you're a serious collector or just bored in line at the drive-thru, check those pennies. And hey, if you do find one, maybe buy me a taco or two. Yeah? If you love stories like this, real coin finds, collector tips, and strategies for turning pocket change into serious cash, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the bell so you don't miss a single coin clue. Open mailbox with raised flag. Comment below if you've ever found a weird or valuable coin. We might feature your story in a future episode. 1992 D. Lincoln penny is one of the most valuable coins out there if you find the right one. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly what makes it so rare, how to spot it, and why it's blowing collectors' minds. So grab your coin jar, because after this video, you're never going to look at pennies the same way again. Let's dig in. All right, quick coin nerd history lesson, but don't worry, I'll make it fun. In 1992, the U.S. Mint was transitioning to a new design for the Lincoln cent. You know the back of the penny, with the Lincoln Memorial? Well, they were about to switch to the Lincoln Union Shield in 2010, but before that, there was a design tweak in the early 90s. The normal 1992 penny has what's called a close AM, meaning the A and the M in America on the back are almost touching. But the super rare version, the one worth up to $1.7 million, has a wide AM. That's right. A little space between two letters could buy you a house in Beverly Hills. Irony, right? I got a C in spelling, but now I'm telling you how a couple of letters made someone rich. So here's what you want to look for. The 1992 D Mint mark. D stands for Denver Mint. Flip it over and check America. If there's a clear space between the A and M, that's the wide AM. Check that the FG initials, engraver Frank Gasparo, are closer to the Lincoln Memorial. If everything checks out, jackpot. I swear, if my high school crush knew how much I stare at coins now, she'd either be impressed or terrified. Okay, story time. About a year ago, I was helping my grandma roll her coins. You know, old school style, wrapping them in paper tubes. She's got this jar of change that's older than me. As I'm rolling, I spot a 1992 D penny. Heart starts pounding, hands shaking. I run to my desk, pull out the magnifying glass like Sherlock Holmes on a sugar rush, and nope. It was the regular close AM. But let me tell you, I didn't give up. Now I check every single penny that comes my way. Because here's the kicker. Only a few of these wide AMs have ever been found. They're that rare. One sold for over $1.7 million at auction. That's not pocket change. That's quit your job and buy a boat money. So yeah, thanks Grandma for giving me early heart palpitations over a penny. So here's the takeaway. Folks, next time someone tries to say it's just a penny, you tell him, nah, it might be early retirement. The 1992 D wide AM penny is one of those unicorn coins that's easy to miss, but life-changing if you find it. And who knows? The next millionaire could be you, just for looking at your spare change. If you're into coins, collecting, or just love the idea of turning trash into treasure, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you don't miss future videos about coins worth big bucks. I drop tips, tricks, and hidden gem coins that could literally be sitting in your pocket right now. 1994 Lincoln penny. That could be worth up to $1.8 million. Flush face up. You heard that right. $1.8 million. For a coin most of us wouldn't bother bending down for unless we dropped it ourselves. Don't go digging through your couch cushions just yet, because there's more to this story than meets the eye. I'm gonna break it down for you. How this penny got so valuable, what to look for, and yes, how you might already have one in your pocket. Let's dive into the juicy, mysterious, and slightly absurd world of the 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Okay, so here's the deal. The 1994 Lincoln cent was minted in the billions. Like 6.5 billion with AB. Most of them came from the Philadelphia Mint and have no mint mark. So what makes this one worth a million and change? It's all about a freaky little mistake, a minting error. This rare penny was struck on a bronze planchet instead of the usual copper-plated zinc. Think of it like ordering a veggie burger and getting a steak. Mint employees messed up. And that little oopsie from the mint? It turned into a life-changing payday for whoever finds it. Now here's where a lot of folks get confused. A penny from Philly doesn't usually have a mint mark. So what's the big deal with the no mint mark? Well, it's not just the lack of a letter. It's the coin's composition. This bad boy wasn't made with the standard 1994 materials. Normal 1994 pennies weigh about 2.5 grams. But the $1 million penny? It weighs 3.11 grams, just like the old-school bronze ones made before 1982. Feel heavier? Probably just your guilt from ignoring that penny on the sidewalk last week. Great question, internet stranger. This happened when a leftover bronze blank, like a forgotten tortilla chip in a bag of pretzels, got mixed into the modern production batch. One rogue planchet, chilling like a rebel, went through the press and boom, instant anomaly. It's like finding a VHS tape in a Netflix warehouse. Doesn't belong, but suddenly it's valuable because of it. Okay, story time. A few years ago, I was this close to greatness. I had a jar of coins from when I was a kid, complete with pogs, a Canadian quarter, and yes, some old pennies. One day I'm sorting them, and I find this 1994 penny that just looks different. It was darker, a little heavier. I thought, cool, maybe it's rare. So naturally, I used it to buy a gumball at the mall. Person facepalming to this day, I think about that gumball every time I read stories like this. And now I'm here, saving you from becoming me. Weigh it. If it's 3.11 grams, you might be in luck. No mint mark? That's fine. It should have none if it's from Philly. The real trick is getting it authenticated. Send it to PCGS or NGC. If you're not sure, ask an expert before you spend it on a soda. And don't clean it. A polished coin is like a photoshopped yearbook photo. Looks shiny, but the value drops fast. So there you have it. One little penny from 1994 could turn you into a millionaire overnight. Just imagine explaining that to your friends. How do you make your fortune? Oh, I picked up a penny. Boom. Early retirement. Now, is this common? Nope. But is it possible? Heck yes. So before you throw that jar of coins in a Coinstar machine, give it a closer look. You never know what's in there. If you liked this video and want more coin collecting tips, crazy rare finds, and money strategies that'll blow your mind and maybe your wallet, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. 1996. D-penny so valuable, what to look for in your change jar, and how not to accidentally spend a literal fortune at a vending machine. So grab your coin stash, get comfy, and let's dive in. So first up, what's with this 1996 D Lincoln cent? The D stands for Denver, where the coin was minted. Normally, these guys are worth exactly 1 cent. Maybe 2 if you're lucky and someone's feeling generous. The US Mint churned out over 6 billion of these in 1996. So yeah, it's about as common as socks disappearing in the dryer. But there's a rumor that a rare error version of this penny exists, and it might just be worth $1.7 million. So here's the deal. There's a lot of chatter in the numismatic world. You know, that fancy word for coin collectors, that one of these 1996 D pennies was struck with a major minting error and is super rare. Now, I haven't personally seen this $1 million penny, cause let's be real. If I had, I'd be filming this from my private island with a coconut in hand. But the reports say the error could be something like a double die, an off-center strike, or maybe even a wrong planchet error, like it was struck on a dime blank. When you're trying to be something you're not, but end up worth $1 million anyway. Let me tell you a quick story. A couple years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her house. You know, the kind of deep cleaning where you find old batteries, birthday cards with no money in them, and weirdly, a shoebox full of coins. I almost tossed it. But something told me, hey, what if there's treasure in here? So I took it home. Spent an entire Saturday watching TV and Googling coins. And you know what? Found a 1943 steel penny worth $30. Not a million, but hey, beats 1 cent. So now, I check every coin. Obsessively. Like a raccoon digging through trash. And you should too. You never know what's hiding in that spare change. Okay, here's what to do if you want to be the next coin millionaire. or at least not miss out like I almost did. If you find a 1996 D penny, look for any doubling, especially on the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust. Off-center strikes. If Lincoln's head is drifting off like he's had a few too many, that's a good sign. Wrong metal. If the coin feels super light or super heavy, or looks weirdly silver, might be struck on the wrong planchet. Unusual colors or textures. No, not penny patina chic, but weird spots from minting errors. And if you find something really odd, take it to a coin shop or send it to PCGS for grading. They're like the coin version of the Avengers. So, moral of the story? Don't overlook your pennies. That little guy could be your golden ticket, or at least enough for a really nice vacation. 2002 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny is worth up to $1.8 million. Camera zooms in dramatically. That's right, $1.8 million for a cent. Stick around, because I'm going to tell you what to look for, why this coin is so valuable, and the hilarious story of how I almost vacuumed up a potentially priceless penny. Spoiler alert, I now check my vacuum bag like it's a treasure chest. So, what's the big deal with the 2002 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny? Well, first, here's a little nerdy, but fun, background. Most coins minted in the US have a mint mark, which tells you where the coin was made. You've probably seen letters like laughing face for Denver's for San Francisco, and no mark usually means it's from Philadelphia. But sometimes, due to minting errors or unique conditions, a penny that should have a mint mark doesn't. And that, my friend, is where things get spicy. In the case of the 2002 No Mint Mark penny, experts believe a very limited number were struck with a rare die, and not only did it lack a mint mark, but the quality and detail of the coin were extraordinary. Like, it was hitting the gym every day, drinking protein shakes. This thing looked clean. Now, fast forward to collectors losing their minds over it, because only a handful are known to exist. One high-grade specimen sold for, drumroll please, $1.8 million at auction. That's not a typo. That's a life-changing comma. And yes, this happened recently. That means some of these bad boys are still out there. In junk drawers. In your car cup holder. Maybe stuck between your couch cushions next to that ancient Cheeto. Alright, here comes my personal tale of tragedy, or almost tragedy. So last year, I was cleaning my apartment. You know, one of those rare times you pretend to be productive to avoid texting your ex. I sucked up some junk with the vacuum and heard this weird clink. I didn't think much of it. Then later, I saw a TikTok about rare pennies and thought, wait a minute, that penny looked kinda different. Cue me, on the floor, ripping open the vacuum bag like it was a piñata full of dreams. Did I find a $1.8 million penny? Nope. I found an old skittle, 2 bobby pins, and an embarrassing amount of dust. But it taught me something. Don't underestimate your loose change. Check the front, obverse, under the date. Is there a mint mark, like D or S? If there's no mint mark, congrats, step 1 is complete. Examine the condition. A valuable one will be in mint state, meaning it looks practically untouched. Graded MS68 or higher. Jackpot territory. Check for expert grading. To confirm value. It's got to be certified by NGC or PCGS. Those are professional grading companies. Don't clean it. Seriously. That's like washing a Picasso because it's dusty. Let the pros handle it. And if you're not sure, take it to a coin shop or show. Coin collectors are basically the treasure hunters of the modern world, and they love a mystery penny. So, what did we learn today? That one tiny, ordinary-looking penny from 2002 could be worth millions, that vacuums are the enemies of treasure, and that you might be sitting on a gold mine, literally, in your piggy bank. So hey, the next time someone tells you it's just a penny, hit him with, yeah? It might just be my future beach house. Now, if you enjoyed this video, and you want more tips on coins that could change your life, I've got plenty more where this came from. Backhand index pointing right, hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and ring the bell like it owes you money, because it just might. And hey, leave a comment if you've ever found a weird coin, or if you're about to go digging through your couch. I read them all, mostly to procrastinate. 2016 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Yes, the one you might have thrown away without a second thought, could fetch you a staggering $1.7 million today. Hold on to your wallets, folks, because this penny is about to make you rethink your coin collection, or lack thereof. Now, before you run off looking for a dusty old 2016 penny, let's break this down so you can understand how a coin that's literally worth 1 cent could end up with a price tag like this. Buckle up, It's going to be a fun ride. All right, let's rewind a little bit. In 2016, the US Mint released its standard Lincoln 1-cent penny, but here's the kicker. Some of them didn't have a mint mark. Normally, every coin has a little letter on it to show where it was made. For example, D means it was made in Denver, S means San Francisco, and then there's the ghost penny. No mint mark. Nada. Zilch. Like a ninja coin that slipped through the cracks. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, so what? Who cares? And that, my friend, is where the magic happens. You see, the mint accidentally made a small batch of these no mint mark pennies, and it was quickly discovered that they were super rare. And I mean, like, unicorn in the wild, rare. Coin collectors and dealers flipped their lids when they realized how valuable they were. It's a classic case of, you don't know what you've got until it's worth a ton of money. These no mint mark pennies were supposed to be produced in Philadelphia, but due to a mistake at the mint, they didn't get the usual P stamp. So what happens when an error like that occurs? It goes from being a mistake to being a mint-condition treasure. I mean, we've all had that moment where we didn't realize something was worth more than we thought, right? Here's my embarrassing confession. When I was a kid, I used to collect stamps, like actual stamps, and one time, my mom found an old stamp in a dusty box and said, "That's a rare one." And I was like, "Mom, I'm trying to collect these for fun, not to make millions." Well, fast forward to a couple of years ago, and guess who's really kicking themselves for not holding onto that rare stamp? This guy. But that's the thing with collectibles. Sometimes, the stuff you least expect becomes priceless. And this 2016 no mint mark penny is a prime example of that. In fact, in 2018, one of these bad boys was sold for a record-breaking $1.7 million. Yep, you heard that right. Million. With an M. But don't start emptying your pockets just yet. These coins are incredibly rare. Like finding a needle in a haystack rare. There are only a few known to exist, and they were quickly snatched up by hardcore coin collectors. But that doesn't mean you can't still strike it rich with your own coin collection. There's still a chance you've got some hidden treasures lurking in your change jar or your childhood piggy bank. I mean, let's be real, who doesn't have one of these jars? You might have a mix of pennies, nickels, and maybe even some random international coins from your last trip to the beach. But hey, dig through it. You never know what could be hiding there. Coin collecting isn't just about finding a penny worth millions. It's about the thrill of the hunt. Plus, the stories you get to tell when you find something awesome. So, to wrap things up, check your pennies, folks. That 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be sitting in your drawer right now. Or maybe it's a coin from a totally different year that could be worth more than you think. But the lesson here is simple. Coin collecting isn't just about luck. It's about knowing what to look for. And hey, sometimes it's about having a little bit of that "I didn't know what I had" moment that turns into a huge payday. If you want to keep learning about rare coins, how to spot treasures in your own collection, and, how to make millions, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll be dropping more coin tips, market trends, and the stories behind the most valuable coins right here. Who knows? Your next coin could be worth a fortune.